The hallway is too quiet. My phone is biting into my palm, edges digging in like it's the only solid thing left. My fingers sting from how hard I'm holding on. He's a few steps away, my husband standing with her, shoulder to shoulder, like I'm a stain on the wall. He turns just enough to let his breath graze my ear. It's done. Don't make this messy. My stomach drops so fast I taste metal. My screen flashes. A text from my assistant. He doesn't know what we found. Say the line when I call. The elevator dings. Her perfume rolls over me, sweet, expensive, deliberate, staged. My phone rings. I hit speaker. My voice comes out steadier than my body feels. Tell him what you just confirmed. My name doesn't matter as much as the way I lived it. I'm a young mom. The kind who measures life in small, repeating sounds. The click of the front door at 7:12. The soft slap of lunchbox lids. The tiny shoes thumping down the hallway when my kid is late, but still has time to hug my leg like I'm the safest place in the world. My mornings smell like toasted bread and shampoo. My afternoons taste like cold coffee I forget to finish. I built a quiet life out of routine because routine is what love looked like to me. Showing up, again and again, even when nobody claps for it. 10 years with him taught me how to read a room before I walked into it, how to smooth my voice when he got sharp, how to smile at parties while he collected praise like oxygen. In public, he's warm, hands on shoulders, bright laugh, the man people call solid. At home lately, he's been distant. Not loud, worse, flat, like the person sitting beside me is only wearing my husband's face. And then there's her, polished, the kind of pretty that feels practiced. Her hair is perfect in a way mine never is anymore. She smiles like she's already rearranged my kitchen cabinets in her head, like she's auditioning for my life and assumes she got the part. The only reason I'm not falling apart in this hallway is my assistant, calm, precise. The kind of person who notices what everyone else steps over, an extra zero on a payment, a name spelled wrong, a date that doesn't match the story. They don't get swept up, they get clear, so no, this isn't about winning a man. I'm not here to beg for scraps of a love that already walked out. I'm here because they thought they could write my ending for me, sign it, stamp it, and call it done. I'm not screaming. I'm watching. Because watching is how you survive a blindside. If you've ever been replaced like you were nothing, stay with me, because what he heard next cracked everything. The courthouse smell, floor cleaner, and old paper pulls me backward so hard my eyes sting. I see us in that first apartment again, the one with the sad beige carpet that always looked damp no matter how many times I vacuumed. The kitchen light flickered like it was thinking about giving up. We didn't have matching plates. We didn't have a couch that wasn't secondhand. But we had each other, and back then that felt like a shield. He used to come home with his tie loosened, hair messy, grin crooked like he'd been saving it all day just for me. He'd drop his keys in the same ceramic bowl by the door, our fancy bowl that was really a chipped thrift store find, and scoop me into his arms like my feet belonged off the ground. The air around him smelled like cologne and outside, and I'd laugh because my laugh came easy then. We had shared playlists. God, we had so many. Late night drive, Sunday slow, future us. He would pick a song and say, "This is ours," like naming it made it true forever. Sometimes we'd dance in that tiny living room, my socks sliding on the carpet, our bodies bumping into the coffee table because we didn't have space, but we didn't care. Our laughter would bounce off the walls and come back to us warmer. We used to talk about everything in bed, our voices low like the dreams might break if we said them too loud. He'd tell me about the job he wanted, the office with windows, the title that sounded important. I'd tell him about a little house with a backyard, somewhere our kid could run without me having to hold my breath every time they got too close to the street. We'd say, "One day," like it was a promise and not a question. Tiny wins felt huge then. A promotion, a paid-off credit card, a weekend trip we saved for by eating noodles for a month, a set of curtains that made the place look less like temporary survival and more like a home. When I found out I was pregnant, he cried. He cried. He held my hands against his face and whispered, "We're going to be a family." His tears were hot on my knuckles. My chest hurt in the best way. I built my life around those moments. Then motherhood happened like a flood. Not the kind you see coming, but the kind that soaks into everything. I became schedules and lists. I became snacks in my bag and wipes in every drawer. I learned the exact tone of my child's cry that meant, I'm hungry versus I'm scared. My body stopped being mine and became a place someone else lived. My sleep got chopped into pieces. My patience got stretched thin and then somehow stretched further, and I still showed up for him. I learned to celebrate his career like it was mine, too. I ironed his shirts when my eyes burned from exhaustion. I listened to his work stories while stirring soup with one hand and bouncing a baby with the other. I swallowed my own needs because I told myself this is what love is. Teamwork, sacrifice, loyalty. For a long time it worked, until it didn't. The shift didn't come with a fight. That would have been easier. A fight would mean something was still alive enough to wrestle for. No. What crept in was colder, quieter, like a draft under a door you didn't notice until you couldn't warm up again. First, it was the phone. His phone used to live face up on the counter, between the fruit bowl and the little stack of mail we never opened on time. He'd toss it there and forget it. He'd let our kid grab it and smear it with sticky fingers, and he'd just laugh and wipe it off on his jeans. Then, one day, he started carrying it like it was a second heartbeat. Face down. Always. Face down. If I walked into a room, his hand would move without him thinking, palm over the screen. A quick little cover like a reflex. If it buzzed, his eyes would flick to it too fast, like the sound was pulling a string inside him. He started taking calls in the car, in the bathroom, outside. Just work, he'd say, too quickly, too flat. Work. Always work. But the money didn't change. No overtime, no bonus, no new comfort. Just his absence, packaged as responsibility. He started coming home later, the sky already dark, the house already quiet. I'd be standing by the sink with my hands in dishwater that had gone lukewarm, listening for the sound of his key in the lock. When it finally came, I'd feel this stupid surge of relief. Relief that the person I married still existed in the world. Relief that I wasn't going to spend another night pretending I didn't notice the empty space beside me. He'd walk in and barely look at me. Not in anger, in detachment, like I was furniture he'd gotten used to. The house got colder, not the temperature, the feeling. The fridge hum started to feel louder than us. The ticking of the cheap clock on the wall would fill the silence at dinner like it was talking for us. Our conversations shrank into logistics. Did you pay the bill? Where's the permission slip? What time is the appointment? I'd try to reach for something real, something soft. I'd touch his arm when he sat on the couch. Sometimes his skin would flinch under my fingers like he'd forgotten what my touch meant. Like it was unexpected. Like it belonged to someone else. At night, he'd roll away from me. He'd face the edge of the bed, like it was safer to stare at the wall than at the life we built. I'd lie there with my eyes open in the dark, listening to his breathing, trying to match it, trying to feel connected through the rhythm of lungs. It didn't work. When he did speak, it was sharp around the edges, little sighs, little looks, little comments that landed like pebbles and somehow still bruised. You're always tired. You never want to do anything anymore. This place is always a mess. As if I wasn't holding our world together with cracked nails and caffeine. As if I wasn't carrying our child's entire schedule in my head like a second brain. As if I wasn't also a person. I started to shrink, not physically, inside. I started choosing silence more often because speaking felt like walking barefoot on broken glass. I began measuring my words, making them smaller, safer, less likely to set him off, and still, something kept happening in my body. A tightening in my throat when I heard his phone buzz, a hot flush behind my eyes when he smiled at a message and didn't share why, a little wave of nausea when he said someone's name too casually. I told myself I was paranoid. I told myself 10 years doesn't just disappear. Then I caught glimpses. A notification he swiped away too fast. A name I didn't recognize. A photo reflected in the dark screen for half a second. A woman's hand, manicured nails, resting on a table beside his. My heart would slam into my ribs hard enough to knock the air out of me, and I'd pretend I didn't see it. Because seeing it would mean I'd have to do something with it. And I wasn't ready to do anything except survive the next day. Our child became my anchor and my stake. The reason I couldn't fall apart, the reason I couldn't explode, the reason I forced myself to smile when I packed lunches, when I helped with homework, when I read bedtime stories with a voice that didn't shake. I would watch my kids sleep, lashes on cheeks, little hand curled around the corner of the blanket, and I'd feel this fierce, animal protective heat rise in my chest. My stability wasn't just mine anymore. My home wasn't just mine. My peace wasn't just mine. Every decision had a tiny heartbeat attached to it. So I kept going, until the night he ended it like a meeting. It was a Tuesday. Of course it was. Life always falls apart on ordinary days. The air in the kitchen smelled like garlic and dish soap. I had one sock on and one sock missing because I never finish anything in one uninterrupted piece anymore. The dishwasher door was open and the light above the stove flickered and my kid was in the living room humming to themselves while they colored. He walked in and didn't kiss me. He didn't even ask how my day was. He set his keys down slowly, too carefully, like he'd rehearsed it. My stomach tightened before he said anything. That instinct, that body knowing. He cleared his throat. "I've been thinking," he said. I turned off the stove. The click sounded too loud. He didn't look at me. He stared at the countertop like it had notes on it. "This isn't working anymore." His voice was steady, controlled, the kind of steady that makes you feel like the crazy one for having a pulse. My hands went cold, like all the blood had drained straight out of my fingers. What do you mean?" My voice came out thin, embarrassing, like a child. He exhaled like I was slow. "I'm not happy," he said, "and I haven't been for a while." The words hit me in the chest, not like a punch, like a door shutting, like a lock turning. I tried to swallow, but my throat felt packed with sand. "We can fix it," I said automatically, because that's what women like me do. We fix, we patch, we hold, we apologize for things we didn't break. He finally looked at me then, and his eyes were empty. Not cruel, not kind, just decided. "I found real happiness," he said. The room tilted. I actually grabbed the counter with my fingertips because for a second my legs forgot their job. Found. Like happiness was something he misplaced and then recovered in someone else's hands. The air felt thick, like breathing through wet cloth. Our kid giggled at something on the TV, oblivious, and the sound made my eyes burn. How could the world keep making normal noises while my life was cracking? "What are you saying?" I asked, and I hated how my voice shook. He spoke the next part like he was reading from a document. "I want a divorce." Divorce, the word tasted like pennies, like rust. My mouth opened, but nothing came out. My brain tried to catch up like it was running behind my heart. I forced it. "Is there someone else?" His jaw tightened. He didn't answer right away, and that pause was the answer. He nodded once, small, efficient. "Yes." My vision blurred at the edges. Heat rose up my neck, then dropped into icy numbness. My hands started tingling like they'd fallen asleep. I heard myself whisper, "Who?" He said her name, a name that sounded too smooth for the mess it made in my mouth. And then he said the line that still burns a hole through me when I remember it. "You wouldn't understand," he told me, calm as a man ordering coffee. "She gets me." Gets me? Like I hadn't spent 10 years learning the shape of his moods. Like I hadn't learned how to read his silence. Like I hadn't held him through job stress and family drama and nights he couldn't sleep. Like I hadn't watched his face change in the glow of a phone at midnight and still tried to believe. My lips went numb. I tasted bile. My stomach clenched so hard it hurt. In the living room, my child called, "Mom," in that casual sing-song way kids do when they need something small and ordinary. My chest cracked. I pasted a smile onto my face so fast it felt like ripping skin. "Just a minute, honey," I called, voice too bright. Then I turned back to him, quieter, smaller, terrified. "What about us?" I whispered on. "What about our family?" He blinked like the question bored him. "We'll co-parent," he said. "We'll do it civil." Civil, like what he was doing wasn't a wrecking ball. He picked up his phone, checked it, and I saw the screen light up. A message preview, just a sliver, a heart emoji, a nickname. My stomach lurched. He pocketed it before I could look closer. My whole body started shaking, and I hated myself for it. I hated that he could do this and still stand there steady. "I'm going to stay at a friend's tonight," he said, already moving. "We'll talk details later." Details, as if my heart was paperwork. He walked past me, and the air displaced by his body felt like abandonment, like cold air slipping into a warm room. At the door, he paused, like he remembered he was supposed to say something gentle. He didn't. The door clicked shut behind him. The sound echoed through the house. I stood there for a moment, hands on the counter, staring at the spot where he'd been. The garlic smell turned sour. The flickering light seemed aggressive, like it was mocking me. I forced myself to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. My lungs felt too small. My kid called again, louder this time, impatient. "Mom!" I wiped my face with the back of my hand, and when I looked down, my skin was wet. I hadn't even felt the tears start. I walked into the living room like a ghost wearing my own body. My child looked up at me, innocent, trusting, holding out a crayon. "Look," they said, "I made us." I stared at the drawing, stick figures, a little house, a big sun, a family, 4 lines for arms holding hands. My knees almost buckled. I smiled anyway, because mothers do that. We smile while we bleed on the inside. "That's beautiful," I whispered, and my voice cracked on the last word. Later, when my child was asleep, I sat on the edge of my bed and stared at the dark window. The streetlight outside made pale stripes across the floor. My phone sat in my lap, heavy as a stone. I should have called someone, anyone. I should have screamed. Instead, I scrolled through old photos like pain shopping, his arm around me on our anniversary, his hand on my belly when I was pregnant, his face next to our child's at the zoo, smiling, 10 years in a gallery, 10 years of proof that once I was chosen. And now, replaced. My chest hurt so much it felt bruised. My throat throbbed. My eyes were swollen. I could hear the fridge humming in the kitchen, steady, indifferent, like the house didn't care what happened inside it. Days blurred after that. He came back for clothes. He spoke to me like a stranger. He avoided my eyes. He acted like the villain role didn't fit him, like he was the hero of a story where he found happiness, and I was just unfortunate collateral. I tried to have calm conversations. I tried to ask questions like an adult. Every time, he slipped away. Every time, he gave me the same flat look. "Don't make this hard. I don't want drama. You're overreacting. Overreacting. To my marriage ending." Then he suggested mediation. Papers, the official end. And now I'm in this courthouse hallway watching him stand with her like he's already moved on to the next chapter. My phone is still in my hand. My fingers still sting. My stomach is still somewhere near my knees. And then, because my brain is cruel, because memory loves to stab, you know what flashes through my mind? A cufflink? Not the whole thing, just the image of it. Silver, minimal, the kind he wore on important days like his own importance needed accessories. He had a set. He kept them in a little box in his dresser drawer, tucked under socks like a secret he didn't trust the world with. I remember seeing him put them on once in the mirror, the way his hands moved, confident, practiced, the way he smiled at his own reflection just for a second, like he liked who he was when he looked successful. I saw those cufflinks hundreds of times. So why, when I look at his wrist right now, when the sleeve of his suit shifts as he moves, why do I see only one? My gaze locks on it like a reflex. One cufflink, the left one, the right cuff is plain, empty, like something was ripped away. A small detail, a stupid detail, but my body reacts like it's a siren. My throat tightens, my scalp prickles, my heart starts pounding harder, like it recognizes danger before my mind does. Because I've seen that cufflink before. Not on him, in a photo I never took. The image slices through my memory like a blade made of light. A table, A glass, a man's wrist, that same silver cufflink catching a flash. A picture that showed up on my screen for a second. Too fast. Before he snatched his phone away. A picture that didn't make sense at the time because I didn't want it to. My mouth goes dry, my eyes flick to her wrist, her smile, her perfect calm. And in my pocket, my phone buzzes again. Another text coming in, the screen lighting up against my palm like a heartbeat. Everything inside me goes very still, the way the world goes still right before thunder breaks. Because that missing cufflink isn't just missing, it's somewhere. And suddenly, I don't feel confused anymore. I feel sure. Sure that I'm not crazy, sure that this was planned, sure that the truth is sitting right behind the thin, polite surface of this moment, waiting for one wrong move to crack open. I swallow and it hurts. My hands don't stop shaking, but my eyes don't drop, not this time. The missing cufflink stays in my head like a splinter I can't stop tonguing with my teeth. Even when I leave the courthouse that day without collapsing, without giving him the satisfaction of watching me fold, I carry it home under my tongue. Metallic, sharp, a little proof-shaped pain that says, you saw something real. He doesn't come back that night. He doesn't come back the next one either, but his presence is everywhere, like a smell trapped in fabric. His jacket still hangs by the door for 2 days, untouched, until I finally pull it down and press it to my face without thinking. The cologne is faint. Under it, something else, like a hotel soap, clean and wrong. My stomach twists so fast I have to grip the back of a chair. I drop the jacket like it burned me. My phone becomes a living thing. Every vibration makes my shoulders jump. Every unknown number makes my throat clamp shut. I start sleeping with it face down so the light won't flash on my ceiling like a warning. Then the first cut comes. Quiet. I'm in the grocery store. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, carts squeaking, my kid whining softly because they want the cereal with the cartoon animal on it. I'm doing the math in my head the way I always do. Milk, bread, fruit, eggs. And I slide my card like I've slid it 1,000 times. The machine beeps. Again. The cashier's smile tightens, polite but watchful. People behind me shuffle. My cheeks heat up. I swipe again, slower, like speed is the problem. Declined. The word might as well be screamed. My mouth goes dry, the air feels too thin, too public. My kid tugs my sleeve, confused. Mom! I swallow, it hurts. Just 1 second, I whisper, my voice too small. I try another card, same account, same silent refusal. The cashier leans closer like I'm about to do something embarrassing. I can put some items back, she says, gently, and I hear the implication. You can't afford your own life. My fingers are numb as I pick up my phone. I call him. It rings, rings, rings. He answers on the 5th ring like he's doing me a favor. What? His voice is flat. My card isn't working, I say. I try to keep it calm, like this is a normal married conversation, like we're still a team. At the store, did something happen with the account? A pause, a soft exhale, like I'm a child who spilled juice. I froze joint spending, he says. My stomach drops. Again. It's always dropping with him now. What? My voice comes out too loud, and a woman in line glances over. I lower it, jaw trembling. Why would you do that? For budgeting, he says, until things are settled. Budgeting like I'm a line item. I have groceries, I hiss, my skin buzzing with humiliation. For our child. Use your own money, he says, as if I didn't spend years organizing my life around his career and our home, as if the hour in our finances was only real when it benefited him. My vision blurs at the edges. My heart hammers in my ears, a dull roar that makes it hard to think. I start, then stop, because saying it out loud, saying I don't have enough on my own right now, feels like giving him a weapon. He doesn't answer for a second, and I can feel him smiling without hearing it. Don't make this dramatic, he says. Then he hangs up. The dial tone is a slap. I stand there holding my phone like it's a dead animal. The cashier pretends not to watch me. My kid looks up, eyes wide, reading my face like they always do. I force my lips into a smile so tight it hurts. It's okay, I whisper. Mom just forgot something. I put things back with shaking hands. Apples rolling, bread squishing. My throat burns like I'm swallowing fire. The whole time, I can feel people's eyes on my back and it makes my skin crawl. When I get outside, the sun is too bright. The air is too sharp. My hands start trembling harder, like my body waited until we were alone to fall apart. I strap my kid into the car seat with fingers that won't cooperate. The buckle clicks. That sound, ordinary, clean, breaks something in me. I sit in the driver's seat and stare straight ahead. Then I cry. Not pretty. Not quietly. My chest heaves like it's trying to cough out a whole decade. My breath comes in ugly gulps. I wipe my face with my sleeve, and it only smears the wet. The steering wheel is slick under my palms. My throat aches from trying not to make noise because my kid is right behind me, humming again, already moving on the way children do. I envy that. The next cut comes through people. It starts subtle. A friend doesn't call back. Another answers with a strange softness in their voice, like they're speaking to someone fragile. Then I hear it, at a birthday party for a kid from school. Paper plates, cheap balloons, that sticky smell of frosting and juice. I'm standing near the snack table, trying to smile like a normal mom, when two women behind me start talking in lowered voices. I heard she's not handling it well, one says. Yeah, the other murmurs. He said she's, emotional, unstable. My spine goes cold. The word unstable slides over my skin like oil. I turn my head slowly like I'm moving through water. They stop talking the second they realize I'm there. Their eyes widen, their smiles pop on like masks. Hey, one of them chirps. Too bright, too forced. How are you doing? How am I doing? My ears ring high and thin like a warning tone. I'm fine, I manage, and my tongue feels too big in my mouth. My cheeks burn, my hands clench and unclench at my sides. Just busy. They nod too hard, like they've already decided what my busy means. I can feel the story moving through the room without me. A version of me. Wild-eyed, irrational, the kind of woman you pity and avoid. A version of him. Calm, patient, the man bravely escaping my chaos. My stomach lurches. He isn't just leaving me. He's sanding me down into something people won't touch. The first time I see her in my real life, outside the courthouse, outside the abstract terror of the other woman, it happens like a sucker punch. It's a school event, a fundraiser. Folding chairs lined up in the gym. The air smells like sweat, popcorn, and those laminated posters kids make. Parents clap too loudly, teachers smile until their cheeks ache. I'm standing by the wall holding a paper cup of lukewarm coffee, watching my child on the little stage when I feel it. That sensation of being watched. I turn. And there she is, not at the edge, not hiding, centered, like she belongs. Her hair is perfect again. Her nails, her blouse, her posture. She's polished in a way that makes me feel like a rag beside her. She's standing with a group of parents like she's always been there, laughing softly, head tilted, hand on someone's arm. Then her eyes meet mine. She smiles. It's a small smile, controlled, like she's practiced it in a mirror. My throat tightens. My fingers squeeze the paper cup and the rim buckles under my grip. Coffee sloshes and drips onto my hand. It's hot enough to sting, but not enough to distract me from the deeper burn. She walks over. The gym noise dims in my ears like someone turned the volume down on the world so I have to listen to her. Up close, her perfume hits me. Sweet, expensive, the same deliberate cloud from the courthouse hallway. My stomach flips. Hi, she says, voice smooth as glass. You're his wife. Not my name, not a person, a title she's trying on. I swallow. My mouth tastes bitter. Yes, I say. My voice sounds far away. Her eyes flick over me, quick. A scan. Like she's measuring what she's taken. I just wanted to say, she continues, and her tone is soft in a way that makes my skin crawl. I know this is hard. My hands go cold. And I really hope you'll be okay, she adds, as if she's offering me a napkin after spilling something on me. I stare at her, trying to breathe through the pressure in my chest. She tilts her head. pity painted on her face like makeup. "He told me you'd take it hard," she says. The words land in my body like a shove. My ears ring louder, my vision narrows. I feel heat climb my neck, my cheeks, my forehead. My hands start shaking so violently the coffee cup rattles. I can't stop it. My body betrays me right in front of her. She notices. Her smile twitches, satisfied. I want to say something that slices, something sharp, something that makes her flinch the way she's making me flinch. But my child is on that stage. My child is looking for me in the crowd. My child is scanning faces, trusting I'll be there, steady. So I do what I've always done. I swallow my rage. It goes down like broken glass. "I'm here for my kid," I say, voice tight. "Not for this." Her eyes gleam for a second, like she's amused by my restraint. "Of course," she says. "I totally understand." She doesn't. She turns and walks away like she's already won. I stand there, shaking, coffee dripping down my fingers, my stomach twisting so hard I think I might throw up on the gym floor. Humiliation is a physical thing. It's sweat under your arms. It's your pulse in your throat. It's the feeling of your skin not fitting right. I go to the bathroom and lock myself in a stall. The fluorescent light buzzes. The air smells like industrial soap and cheap air freshener. My hands tremble as I set the cup in the trash. I stare at my fingers. Brown coffee stains, pale knuckles. I press my palms to my face. Breathe. My chest won't expand properly. Every inhale feels like it catches on something inside me. I pull out my phone with hands that won't stop shaking and scroll, desperate for something that proves I'm not crazy. And there it is, her social posts. A photo of a table set with white linen, candles, 2 plates, a bottle of wine, a caption that makes my teeth ache. Finally breathing again. Another photo, a bracelet on her wrist, gold and thin, a little charm that glints. A view of a city skyline through a restaurant window. Expensive dinners. While my groceries got declined, my vision blurs with tears and anger rises so fast it almost chokes me. My stomach turns, bile creeping up my throat. I swallow it back hard. I stare at the screen until the letters swim. Then I wipe my face. I rinse my hands. I practice a neutral expression in the mirror, like I'm putting on armor. When I walk out of that bathroom, I don't feel like a person. I feel like a problem they're managing. That night, after my child is asleep, I sit at the kitchen table with a notepad like I'm preparing for a war I didn't enlist in. The fridge hums. The clock ticks. The house feels like a shell. My phone sits beside the notepad. I stare at it until my eyes burn. Then, I call my assistant. When they answer, their voice is calm, and it nearly breaks me. Calm feels like safety now. "Hey," they say, "talk to me." I clear my throat. It scrapes. "I need help," I admit, the words tasting like shame and relief at the same time. Not emotional help, practical. "Okay," they say immediately. No judgment, no pause. "What do you need?" I look at the notepad. My handwriting is shaky. "Documents," I say, "schedules. I need to know what I need for mediation, for school, for custody, for everything." My voice cracks on everything. They don't react like it's dramatic. They react like it's a list. "Send me what you have," they say. "We'll build a timeline." A timeline. The word makes my stomach twist because timelines are for crimes and disasters, not marriages, but I do it. I email them screenshots, bank alerts, weird notifications, the dates I remember him coming home late. The day he suddenly changed the password on the streaming service. The day he started taking the car for meetings that never had a location. I keep it all logical. I keep it all neat because if I let the feelings loose, I'll drown. The next day, my assistant calls me back. Their tone is still calm, but there's something under it now. A tightness. A focus that makes the hair on my arms lift. "There are irregularities," they say. My stomach drops again, my body's favorite new hobby. "What kind?" My voice is barely there. "A forwarded bill," they say. "It's showing a new address." "A new address?" The words feel thick. "Yes," they reply. "Not yours, not his work, and the date it started. Lines up with when he began working late." My fingertips go numb. I grip the edge of the counter until my nails bite. Also, they continue, there's an expense pattern, multiple charges marked as business, same vendor, same time of day, same days of the week. It doesn't match his usual work travel. My throat tightens so hard I can barely swallow. What does it match? I whisper. A pause. Then, softer, it matches routine. Routine, a schedule, a second life with calendar consistency. I sink onto a chair, my legs suddenly weak. The wood is cold under my thighs. My heart is pounding so hard it feels like it might bruise my ribs from the inside. And the joint spending freeze, my assistant adds. That's not just about budgeting, it's control. My mouth opens, but no sound comes out. My tongue feels thick. My eyes sting. I glance toward the hallway where my child's bedroom door is closed. A little nightlight glow leaks under it, a soft, steady line of light. My voice shakes. He's trying to make me look irresponsible. Yes, they say. And more than that, he's trying to squeeze you until you panic. Until you do something he can point at and say, see? Unstable. My skin prickles, my stomach churns, I taste acid. The room feels like it's shrinking. I press my palm to my chest like I can physically hold my heart in place. What do I do? I whisper. Another pause. Then their voice lowers, careful. I think the divorce isn't the real plan, they say. My breath catches. I think you're being positioned to lose more than him. My assistant's words don't just land. They sink in, heavy, cold, like a stone dropped into my stomach that doesn't hit bottom. Lose more than him. My mind tries to sprint away from the sentence, but my body won't let it. My skin prickles, my mouth goes dry. My fingers clamp around the edge of the kitchen table until the wood presses a square into my palm. The fridge hum is still there, steady as ever, and I hate it for being calm while I'm not. I stare at the thin line of light under my child's bedroom door. That line is everything. That line is the reason I don't get to collapse. I swallow and it feels like swallowing gravel. No, I whisper, but it comes out like a question. Like my voice doesn't believe me. The thought creeps in, slow and poisonous. What if he's not just leaving? What if he's setting me up? My chest tightens so hard I have to inhale in short, careful sips. The air tastes stale, like yesterday's coffee and the garlic that never really leaves the walls. My heart is thudding, but my mind starts to sharpen the way it does right before a test you didn't study for. I picture him again, that flat voice, the way he said divorce like it was a line on a spreadsheet, the way he said budgeting when my groceries got declined, budgeting, civil, don't make this messy. Those weren't comfort words, those were instructions. And I've been following them like an idiot, begging for clarity, waiting for a confession that would make it make sense, asking why, like why would heal me? My throat burns sudden heat behind my eyes. I blink hard. Once. Twice. The tears don't fall yet. They hover, held back by something new. Anger. Not the loud kind. The clean kind. The kind that switches a light on in a dark room and shows you the mess you've been stepping around. If they're rewriting my life, I need the original draft. The thought comes so clear it scares me. My hands stop shaking. Not because I'm okay, because I'm focused. I pick up my phone and type with stiff, precise thumbs. What do you need from me? My assistant replies fast, like they were waiting for me to choose a direction. Access, documents, anything with dates. Don't talk to him alone. And breathe. Breathe. I drag in a breath. It scrapes. But it's a breath. I move through the house like I'm walking through a museum of my own mistakes. The living room still has his mug on the shelf. The blanket he liked is folded on the arm of the couch. The family photo on the wall. My smile wide, his arm around my shoulders, my child's face sticky with ice cream, feels like it belongs to strangers. I pass it without stopping. I open the drawer where we keep important papers, receipts, birth certificates, insurance, the kind of stuff you don't look at until something breaks. My fingers dig through the pile, paper edges biting my skin. I pull out bank statements and hold them up to the kitchen light like the light can explain what he's done. The numbers blur together at first, but then patterns start to show themselves. The way a face appears when you stop staring at the details and see the whole. Transfers I didn't authorize. Small ones at first, like he didn't want them noticed. Like he was testing what he could take without waking me up. Then bigger, then timed. My stomach twists. I open my laptop, hands steady now, and log into our accounts. The password works. Of course it does. He wants me inside just enough to see what he wants me to see. My tongue presses hard against the back of my teeth. I click through statements, and my pulse ticks up with each page, each neat column of money moving like blood through veins. A new account name appears. Something bland, something that sounds official, something that could hide anything. My skin goes cold. I screenshot everything. I save PDFs. I create a folder and name it something stupid and harmless like school stuff, because paranoia is now a reflex and I don't trust the air in my own home. I text my assistant the first batch. My phone vibrates with their reply. Good. Keep going. Good. Like I'm finally doing the thing I should have done the first time my card got declined. I check the mail next. I open envelopes with shaking restraint, the kind you need when your hands want to rip instead of peel. And there it is, a forwarded bill, not from our address, a different one. My eyes lock on it. My mouth dries instantly. I read it once, twice. My brain tries to refuse it, tries to say, maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's old, maybe... But the date is recent. My hand floats to my chest, palm pressing over my heartbeat like I can quiet it. A new address means a new life. A new address means he's been somewhere else long enough to need paper sent there. The thought tastes like bile. I send a photo to my assistant. They reply with one line. That's the thread. Pull it. I do. I pull until my fingers ache. I look up the address. It's not far. Not far at all. Close enough to keep secrets without effort. Close enough to slip between lives like changing clothes. I picture him there, in a space that doesn't smell like our child's shampoo. A space without my fingerprints on the light switches. A space where he can pretend he's new and clean and unburdened. My stomach rolls. Heat surges up my throat. I stand up too fast and the room sways. I grip the counter, breathe. I don't go there. Not yet. I don't give him the satisfaction of me showing up emotional, frantic, unstable, I gather. I document. I become boring. Boring is dangerous. My assistant calls. Their voice is calm, but I hear the weight under it. Listen, they say. This isn't just cheating. I know, I whisper. My voice sounds like it's coming through a wall. There are repeated business expenses, they continue, and they're consistent. Same place, same days. It looks like someone is building a routine around hiding money. Hiding, I repeat, and the word feels thick. Moving assets, they say, and there's more. He's been talking about that new venture, right? My stomach tightens. He has been. For months, he's been casually dropping it into conversation like bait. I'm thinking bigger. I'm finally doing something for us. This could change everything. He'd said it with that bright-eyed excitement he used to reserve for our dreams. Back when our meant something. What about it? I ask, though my body already knows. My assistant exhales softly. She's connected, they say. My skin goes numb like cold water poured over me. Connected. Not random, not a coincidence, not I met her and fell in love. Not the fairy tale he's been selling everyone, a plan, a partnership, a conspiracy with pretty hair and expensive perfume. My hands clench so hard my nails leave crescent moons in my palms. I close my eyes for a second and see her at the school event, the way she smiled like she owned the air around me. The way she said he told her I'd take it hard. She didn't pity me, she prepped for me. My assistant starts listing steps and I cling to their steadiness like it's a railing on a staircase in the dark. We're going to build a timeline, they say. Every late night, every account change, every new expense, every message preview you saw, screenshots, dates, and we're going to write calm questions. Questions he can't answer without tripping over his own story. Calm questions. My throat tightens with a strange, sharp relief, because I can do calm. I've been calm while exhausted, calm while pregnant, Calm, while my child screamed in a grocery store aisle and strangers stared. Calm is a costume I know how to wear. Okay, I say. My voice steadies. It's not strong, but it's not breaking. My assistant sends me a list. It pings onto my phone like a lifeline. When exactly did you decide to freeze the account? What is the new address tied to the forwarded billing? What vendor is this business's expense, and why does it recur on these dates? Why is there a transfer from our joint account to this entity? Who has access to these accounts besides you? Simple, clean, deadly. I read the questions and feel something change inside me, like the part of me that has been begging finally sits down and shuts up, like the part of me that has been surviving stands up and stretches. I am not going to ask him why he stopped loving me. I am going to ask him where the money went and what he planned to take. I stand up and the chair scrapes the floor too loud. It startles me. My nerves are strung tight, every sound amplified. I walk to the laundry room because my body needs a private place to fall apart, and the laundry room is where I hide the ugly things. Stains, mess, sweat, the parts of life nobody wants to see. The moment the door shuts behind me, my face crumples. It happens so fast I don't even get a warning. My chest caves inward. My breath catches on a sob. The first tear hits my lip and tastes salty and hot. Then another, then more, spilling down my chin. My shoulders shake so hard my teeth click together. I press my fist to my mouth to keep the sound down, but it leaks anyway, this broken, muffled noise that feels like an animal trapped inside me. I slide down the wall until I'm sitting on the cold tile floor. The washing machine looms beside me, silent and indifferent. A pile of clean clothes sits in a basket, unfolded. My child's tiny socks on top. My throat tightens on a sob when I see them, because my grief is never just mine. It always circles back to them. I cry until my nose clogs and my eyes swell and my chest burns. Then I stop. Not because the pain is gone, because the fear changes shape. Losing control is what they're counting on. I wipe my face with the sleeve of my shirt. The fabric is damp. I stand up, legs unsteady, and turn on the sink. Water rushes out loud and bright. I splash my face. The cold shocks me. My skin prickles. I inhale sharply. Again. Cold water, both hands, up my cheeks, over my eyes. I look at myself in the mirror above the laundry sink. My eyes are red, my face is blotchy, my mouth trembles. I stare until the trembling slows. I practice. Not a smile, never a smile. A steady mouth, a level gaze, a voice that doesn't crack. I say one sentence out loud, testing it like a key in a lock. I need clarification on these transactions. My voice wobbles. I try again. Please explain this transfer. Better. Again. Why is this bill forwarded to a different address? My stomach twists, but my voice stays even. Good. I exhale, slowly, feeling the air leave my lungs like steam. My hands stop shaking. Not fully, but enough to keep going. That night, while the house sleeps, I keep pulling threads. I open drawers I haven't opened in months. I check the back of the filing cabinet. I look in the box where we keep old tax papers and random warranties for appliances we don't even own anymore. And then I find it. A document folded too neatly. It's tucked behind a stack of papers like it's meant to disappear. My fingers go cold as I unfold it. The paper is crisp. Official. The kind of paper that decides lives. I scan the top line, and my eyes snag on words that make my stomach turn. Authorization, transfer, consent. My heart starts pounding so hard my vision pulses with it. I look for the signature. And there it is. My name. My signature. Except it isn't. It looks like mine at a glance. The same swoop, the same loop, the same slant. But I know my hand. I know the pressure I use on the downstroke. I know the way the last letter always trails off when I'm tired. This signature is too smooth, too confident, like someone traced me. My breath leaves my body in a thin, strangled sound. The room tilts. My fingers shake as I hold the paper closer, like distance is the problem, like proximity can fix reality. It doesn't. My skin goes clammy. A cold sweat breaks along my spine. I whisper, "No." And it comes out like a prayer that doesn't get answered. I flip to the next page. More initials, more dates. I never signed this. I never agreed. My pulse is a roar in my ears now, drowning out the fridge hum, the clock, the whole house. A thought hits me so hard it feels like a slap. He didn't just leave. He stole my name. He took my identity and used it like a tool. I stare at the forged signature until the ink seems to move, until my eyes burn. Then my phone buzzes in my hand, my assistant's message popping up like a flare in the dark. "Did you find anything?" My thumb hovers over the screen. My mouth is dry, my chest is tight, my entire body feels like it's balancing on the edge of something enormous. I type back with shaking fingers. "I found a document with my signature." A pause. Then 3 dots. Typing. Their reply appears and it makes my blood run cold. "Are you sure it's yours?" I stare at the forged swoop of my name. I taste metal again. I type, "I didn't sign it." The paper trembles in my hands like it has a pulse. My signature. Not my signature. I stare at it until my eyes feel scraped raw, until the ink starts looking wet, like it might smear if I breathe too hard. My throat is tight in that specific way, like my body wants to gag the panic back down and can't decide if it belongs in my stomach or my mouth. I fold the document slowly, too slowly, like if I move fast, reality will snap and I'll crack with it. My phone is still in my other hand, the screen lit with my last message. I didn't sign it. The quiet in the house is wrong. Even the fridge hum feels like it's eavesdropping. I take 3 steps into the hallway and pause outside my child's door. I don't go in. I don't touch the knob. I just stand there and listen to the soft, even breathing on the other side. It steadies me for half a second. Then anger rises again. Hot, clean, bright, not screaming anger, the kind that sharpens your vision. If he can forge me, he can ruin me. If he can ruin me, he can take my child. My knees go weak at that thought. I lean a shoulder against the wall. The paint is cool against my skin, grounding me. I press my palm flat to my sternum and feel my heart punching against it, hard enough to bruise. No, not like this. I go back to the kitchen. I lay the document flat on the table like it's evidence, like it's a body. I photograph every page, close enough to catch the tiny ridges in the ink. My fingers are steady now, almost detached. Like a different version of me has stepped in, one that doesn't have time to cry. I text the photos to my assistant. Seconds later, "Don't confront him. Keep it safe. We need legal eyes." Legal eyes. The phrase makes my stomach twist because legal means this is real. This isn't just heartbreak. This is strategy. This is someone putting traps in my path. I whisper into the empty kitchen, "Okay." My voice sounds strange, like it doesn't belong in my mouth. The next morning, I put on the same face I've been wearing since the grocery store decline. Calm, functional, normal enough for strangers. My hands shake while I pour cereal, but I keep my smile soft when my child looks up at me. I pack the lunch. I tie the shoes. I do the routine like routine can protect me. After drop-off, I sit in the car with the engine off, hands on the wheel, and stare at the parking lot. Parents move around me like I'm invisible. Sunlight flashes off windshields, a shopping cart rattles, a toddler laughs. My phone buzzes. My assistant, "Lawyer appointment at 11. Can you make it?" I inhale. My chest feels full of needles. "Yes," I type back. At 11, I walk into a small office that smells like coffee and paper and someone else's stress. The chairs are too firm. The air conditioner hums. A framed certificate hangs crooked on the wall. The lawyer's eyes are kind but sharp, the kind of sharp that makes you feel both seen and exposed. I slide the printed document across the desk. My fingertips leave it like it's contaminated. "I didn't sign this," I say. My voice doesn't crack. I'm proud of that. The pride makes me want to cry. The lawyer reads. Their face changes by degrees, subtle shifts like a storm moving in behind calm weather. They ask questions, precise, clipped. "Do you have originals? Do you have access logs? Any witnesses? Any emails?" Witnesses. The word makes my skin prickle. I shake my head once, then stop because something tugs at the back of my mind. A memory. A neighbor mentioning seeing him come home early on days he claimed he was out. A coworker he used to talk about. An accountant's name in our email archives. I swallow. I might, I say. The lawyer leans back. Good. Now listen carefully. Their voice lowers. The room feels smaller. No illegal stunts, no threats, no public scenes. Your leverage is the truth, documented and timed. Timed, that word lands like a match striking. Truth, timing, leverage. I nod and something in me settles. Not peace, purpose. The lawyer outlines boundaries, what to say, what not to say, what to sign, what to refuse, how to communicate, how to keep everything in writing, how to protect custody discussions from his narrative. You stay calm, they say. He wants you emotional. Emotion can be twisted. Paper can't. Paper can't. I cling to that like a rope. When I leave the office, sunlight hits my face, too bright, and for a second I feel lightheaded. My stomach growls, hunger or fear or both. I realize I haven't eaten. I buy a cheap sandwich I can barely taste. My mouth is dry the whole time. Every bite feels like pushing food through a throat that doesn't want it. He calls that evening. Of course he does. His name flashes on my phone, and my body reacts before my mind can. A spike of heat in my chest, a tightening in my gut. My fingers go cold. I answer anyway. Hello, I say, gentle. Soft, like I'm not holding my whole life in evidence photos. You've been quiet, he says, and there's a sweetness in his voice that makes my skin crawl. Performative concern, the kind he uses when other people are listening. I have been busy, I say. With what? He asks, casual. Too casual, I let a beat pass. Silence is a weapon, too. With our child, I say. He sighs like I'm being difficult. Look, we need to move this along. Sign the papers. Don't drag this out. My throat tightens, but I keep my voice even. I want to review everything properly. There's nothing to review, he snaps, then smooths it out fast. You're imagining things. You always do this. You spiral. My fingers clench around the phone. The plastic creaks. I loosen my grip before it cracks. Send me the full financial disclosures, I say softly, and the explanation for the address on the forwarded bill. Silence. A tiny, delicious silence. Then he laughs. Short, hard. What address? My lips press together. I taste metal. The address, I repeat, calm as ice. The one tied to the billing. You're being paranoid, he says. I'm being careful, I correct. His voice drops, colder. Don't drag our child into this. The words hit like a slap because he knows exactly where to aim them. He wants me guilty. He wants me afraid. I close my eyes. I picture my child sleeping. I picture that line of nightlight under the door. I'm not dragging anyone, I say. I'm protecting what matters. He exhales. You're making this messy. There it is again, the same phrase. Like he's reading from the same script. I almost laugh. Instead, I whisper, we'll talk at mediation. Then I hang up first. My hand is shaking when I set the phone down, but my chest feels lighter. Like I just cut one string he had wrapped around my throat, and then her cruelty starts showing its teeth. It's never direct, never bold. It's the kind of cruelty that hides behind accidents and oops. A photo appears online, 2 wine glasses clinking, no faces, just hands. A cufflink glinting at a wrist. My stomach flips so hard I have to sit down. A caption, New beginnings, another post, a shot of a woman's heels by a front door, my front door style, same brass handle design as the one in the forwarded address listing. The caption is nothing but a little sparkle emoji and a heart. My hands go numb. She wants me to see it. She wants me to feel replaced. She wants me to react so she can screenshot it and call me crazy. I don't react, not publicly. I screenshot. Date, time, save. My assistant calls the next day with a voice that's tight in a way I haven't heard before. We found something, they say. My skin prickles. What? She's not just a girlfriend, my assistant replies. She has a professional link to his money moves. My stomach drops, but this time it lands on something solid. So it's business, I whisper. It's business, they confirm. The vendor name, it connects to her, her company, her LLC, whatever label they're hiding behind. LLC, company, vendor. The words are sterile, but they make my blood run hot because they mean it's not romance, it's not a love story, it's a plan to move assets, a plan to paint me unstable, a plan to squeeze me until I crack. I grip the edge of the counter. The laminate is rough under my fingertips. I focus on the sensation so I don't float away. My assistant continues. And there's a person willing to confirm one piece. A person? My voice is thin. A witness, they say. Someone who noticed something that matches the timeline. My breath catches. Who? They tell me a name, and my mind flashes. An old colleague he used to complain about, someone he thought was beneath him, someone he didn't consider dangerous. My lips part. I can't decide if I want to laugh or throw up because, of course, the person who sees the truth is the person he overlooked. I meet the witness in a quiet place, a cafe. Neutral, bright. Too many people for drama. The smell of espresso and sugar, the clink of cups like tiny bells. They don't look like a hero. They look tired. They keep checking the door. I don't want trouble, they say. I don't want trouble either, I reply, and I mean it so hard my throat aches. I want facts. They swallow. Their fingers tap the table. Then they say one sentence that slides into my body like ice water. I saw him sign something with your name on it. My blood goes cold. My ears ring. They add, and he laughed, like it was easy. I stare at them, my hands flat on my thighs so they don't shake. The cafe noise fades, replaced by the roar of my heartbeat. Easy. Forging me was easy to him. When I get home, I sit at the kitchen table and lay everything out. Screenshots, dates, the forwarded bill, the forged document photos, the social posts, the expense patterns. It looks like a conspiracy board without the red string. But it's real. And it's mine. And then I do the strangest thing. I agree to mediation. I respond to his message with a calm, polite yes. I let him think he's winning, because that's the mirror moment my lawyer talked about. Let him see his own confidence reflected back at him. Let him walk in smiling. Let him lean in and whisper threats he thinks will land. Let him bring her in his head like a trophy. And while he does that, I hold the truth quietly, like a blade tucked under silk. The night before the meeting, I practice in the laundry room mirror again. Steady mouth, level gaze, soft voice. I say the calm questions out loud until they stop feeling like weapons and start feeling like normal sentences. My body still betrays me sometimes. My hands tremble, my stomach flips, my throat tightens, but I don't let it show in my face. Because my face is the stage. And he thinks he wrote the script. Morning comes too fast. My child eats breakfast like it's any other day. I kiss their forehead and taste cereal milk on their skin. My heart clenches so hard, I have to blink fast, because tears are a luxury I don't have before court. After drop-off, I sit in the car and hold my phone, waiting for my assistant's update like it's oxygen. The sky is bright, the steering wheel is cold, my palms are damp. Then the text arrives. We have the final proof. Do not warn him. My assistant's text sits on my screen like a pulse. We have the final proof. Do not warn him. My thumb hovers over the words until the glass warms under my skin. The steering wheel is cold. My palms are damp anyway. The air in the car tastes like old gum and nerves. Do not warn him. As if my mouth might betray me. As if my face might. As if my eyes might scream the truth before the truth gets its own moment. I swallow, and it hurts. Dry, tight, like my throat is lined with paper. I stare at the courthouse doors from the parking lot. They look the same as they always do, heavy, official, indifferent, the kind of place where people learn what they're worth on record. My stomach flips when I step out of the car. The ground feels too solid, like it's daring me to stumble. My heels click against the pavement, each sound too sharp, too loud, like the world is listening for weakness. Inside, the air is colder. I smell floor cleaner and something metallic, like coins rubbed between fingers. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead, making everything look flatter than it should. Like emotions can't survive in this lighting. My body wants to shake. I keep it still, soft mouth, level gaze, slow steps. I hold my folder against my ribs like armor. The paper edges press into my forearm. I like the sting. It keeps me present. The mediation room is smaller than I imagined. A table, too many chairs, a pitcher of water that looks untouched by humanity, a clock ticking like it enjoys itself. The mediator greets me with that careful face professionals wear, neutral, practiced, impossible to read. My lawyer sits beside me, close enough that their shoulder almost touches mine. That almost touch steadies me more than I want to admit. Then the door opens, and he walks in like he's late to a meeting he's sure he'll still run. Suit crisp, hair perfect, smile faintly bored, and she's right behind him, not even pretending to be discreet. She moves like she belongs here, like this is her theater and she's just waiting for her cue. They sit, too close. Her knee angles toward his under the table like a claim. Her perfume reaches me in a slow wave, sweet, expensive, calculated. It curls into my nose and sits there, unwanted, like smoke you can't escape. He doesn't look at me at first. He looks at the mediator, at my lawyer, at the papers, like I'm not the person he built a decade with, like I'm a form to process. When his eyes finally meet mine, there's something smug there, something sealed. I feel my stomach dip, but I don't let my face follow it. He slides a stack of papers across the table with 2 fingers like he's pushing a menu. Just sign, he says, voice smooth, and we can all move on. The word all lands like a slap. All, like she's part of my family now, like she's included in the ending of my marriage. My hands tingle. The room narrows at the edges. The clock ticks louder. I look at the papers, but I don't touch them. My lawyer's pen moves slowly, making a note. Calm. Unimpressed. That calm spreads into me like cold water. I tilt my head slightly. Soft voice. Steady. I'd like to confirm a few things first. His smile tightens. What things? He asks. And there's a warning under it. Don't embarrass me. I meet his eyes and hold them. My heart is pounding so hard I can feel it in my fingertips, but my voice stays low. The forwarded billing address, I say, and the business's expenses that recur on the same days each week. Her posture changes. Tiny. Her shoulders stiffen. She tries to hide it by crossing her legs. The movement is too sharp. He blinks once. Slow. I told you, he says, louder than necessary. You're imagining things. Imagining. That word tries to climb up my throat and choke me with old shame, but it can't find purchase anymore. Because shame is useless now. My lawyer leans forward slightly. We'd like those items clarified on record, they say. He exhales through his nose, irritation flickering. Fine, he says, but this is a waste of time. He taps the papers like the sound will make me obey. You're doing this again, he adds, eyes narrowing, making drama. My skin prickles, my stomach twists. I don't react. I reach into my bag and take out my phone. His gaze drops to it. His jaw tightens. What are you doing? He asks. I keep my voice even. I'm putting my assistant on speaker. Her eyes flick to his. Quick. Sharp. A silent question. He sits back, trying to look relaxed, but his fingers curl against the chair arm. White knuckles for half a second before he forces them loose. I press call. The ringtone is too cheerful for the room. 1 ring, 2. My pulse counts with it. Then, click. My assistant's voice comes through the phone, calm as a blade. Hello? The sound slices the room clean in half. I lift the phone slightly so everyone can hear. Go ahead, I say. My voice is steady enough it surprises me. Tell him what you confirmed. He scoffs. This is ridiculous. My assistant doesn't respond to him at all. That refusal, so simple, makes his confidence wobble. They begin, slow and precise, like reading a timeline that's been sharpened into a weapon. On date, the joint account began transferring funds to an entity labeled as a vendor, my assistant says. The transfers increased in frequency and amount over the following weeks. The mediator's pen starts moving. My husband's smile twitches. My assistant continues. These charges were repeatedly categorized as business, but they do not align with his documented work travel or employer reimbursements. Her chin lifts slightly like she's offended to be questioned by facts. He leans forward. Those are legitimate, he says quickly. Too quickly. My assistant's voice doesn't change. The vendor is professionally connected to a pause just long enough to let everyone brace. The woman present in the room. Silence. Real silence. Not polite silence. Not waiting your turn silence. The kind that sucks oxygen. I hear my own breath. Thin. Controlled. My heart slams once, hard, like it's trying to escape my ribs. Her face freezes, then she smiles. Too wide, too bright, a mask slapped on with trembling hands. That's not, she starts. My assistant keeps going, smooth and relentless. We also identified a forwarded bill tied to a separate address, initiated during the same time period as the account transfers. The mediator's eyes lift. They look at him now, directly. My husband's throat moves as he swallows. What address? He says, but the confidence is gone. Now it's defensive. Now it's frantic. My assistant answers calmly. The address listed on the forwarded utility correspondence. I have the document time-stamped and archived. My lawyer slides a copy across the table. Paper on wood. A soft sound. It lands like a gavel in my chest. His eyes dart to it. His hand reaches, then stops, like touching it might burn him. His jaw clenches. He laughs. Short. Hollow. This is obsessive. Obsessive. That old insult. It tries to hook into me. It doesn't. My assistant's voice shifts slightly, still calm but colder. Now to the most serious issue. My stomach tightens. I already know. My skin still remembers the moment my eyes found that forged signature. My assistant says it aloud anyway, turning the private horror into public fact. A document was located bearing the wife's signature, authorizing consent for financial movement. She did not sign it. The mediator straightens in their chair. My lawyer's posture sharpens. My husband's face changes. Finally, visibly. His confident mask cracks down the center. A flash of panic leaks through before he can smooth it over. That's a lie, he snaps, too loud, the sound bouncing off the walls. I flinch internally. My shoulders want to rise. I keep them down. My assistant continues, still unshaken. A comparison of the signature to known samples indicates inconsistency in pressure and formation. Additionally, a witness has stated they observed him signing paperwork using her name. His eyes jerk to me like daggers. Her smile drains. Completely. The corners of her mouth drop as if the muscles gave up. The room shifts. I can feel it, like a tide turning. The mediator's voice is different now. No longer, how can we resolve this amicably? Now it's, we need to address this. Sir, the mediator says, measured, these are serious allegations. We will need clarity on the financial disclosures and the authenticity of any signed documents. My husband's mouth opens, closes, opens again. For the first time in months, he looks small. He tries to recover by turning on me, eyes narrowing, voice sharpening into accusation. This is what she does, he tells the room, gesturing toward me like I'm a problem object. She twists things. She's emotional. My lawyer cuts in, calm and deadly. Let's stay with the documentation. Documentation. Paper can't. I feel it in my bones now. He looks at her, just a flicker, a glance, a silent plea. Help me. She doesn't help. She shifts in her chair, pulling her knee away from his. The movement is subtle but loud in my mind. Separation, distancing, self-preservation. She's calculating. Was she a tool? Was she a partner? Either way, she's realizing the story they rehearsed doesn't work in this lighting. My assistant's voice returns, finishing the timeline like closing a trap. There is also evidence of an attempted narrative build, they say. Statements to mutual contacts framing her as irresponsible coincide with the account freeze and the push for expedited signatures. I taste bitterness. So he really did it, not just to leave me, to ruin me. My hands stop trembling. I notice it like you notice silence after a long noise. My breathing deepens. My voice, when I speak, comes from somewhere steadier than my fear. I'm not signing anything today, I say. He stares at me, stunned, like he expected me to cave, like he expected the old version of me, apologetic, begging, eager to keep the peace. That version is gone. I continue, soft but firm. My priority is custody and stability for our child. I will not be smeared, I will not be rushed, and I will not be forced into an agreement that hides money or punishes me for trusting you. My throat tightens on the last word, trusting. It hurts like pressing on a bruise, but I don't break. He tries one more time, voice rising, desperate. You're doing this to me on purpose. You're trying to destroy me. Destroy. A strong word. It almost makes me laugh because he's the one who lit the match. I'm just refusing to stand in the fire quietly. My assistant's voice cuts through again. Final. Surgical. One last detail, they say. The room goes still. My stomach drops, but this time it drops into anticipation, not fear. My assistant continues. There's a recorded contradiction in his statements regarding the account freeze date and the initiation of the transfers. If the timeline is presented formally, it indicates intentional concealment. He goes pale. Actually pale. His lips part, but no sound comes. Her eyes widen, then narrow. Then she looks away from him like she can't afford to be seen next to him anymore. My lawyer leans forward, voice quiet. Given this information, a fair settlement is the most reasonable option. Fair. The word feels like air after drowning. My chest expands. My shoulders lower, my hands rest on the table without shaking. Relief doesn't feel like happiness. It feels like my body finally unclenching after months of holding itself tight. He looks at me one more time, and in his eyes I see it. He didn't expect me to stand. He expected me to crumble. I meet that look and give him nothing to grab. No tears, no yelling, just a calm, steady refusal to be erased, and that, more than anything, leaves him speechless. I walk out of the courthouse, and the sunlight hits my face like truth. Sharp, clean, almost rude in how bright it is. The air tastes different out here, like the world doesn't care who lied inside those walls, and somehow that makes me breathe deeper. Betrayal didn't start the day he chose her. It started the day he looked at my loyalty and saw something he could use. The day he decided I would accept being erased. Smiled at, managed, softened into a story that made him look gentle. My hands are still warm from gripping that folder. My throat still feels scraped, like I've swallowed sand and kept walking anyway. But my spine feels like it finally belongs to me again. Revenge isn't chaos. It isn't screaming in parking lots or exploding in public. It's clarity when someone wants you confused. It's paperwork when someone wants you emotional. It's patience when someone wants you to panic. It's self-respect when someone's been training you to beg. I pull out my phone, and for a second my fingers hesitate, like they're still waiting for permission. Then, I type, "Thank you for believing me when I couldn't." My chest loosens as soon as it sends, like the words unlatch something inside me. Have you ever been blindsided by someone you trusted? What was the first red flag you ignored? And should someone who tries to rewrite the truth ever get a second chance? If you want more stories where betrayal gets exposed and dignity gets rebuilt, subscribe and stay close. Next time, it's not a husband, it's a sister who sold my secrets for a new life.